I mean, we can do the podcast though.
Oh man,
we just talking. We not even in this.
Yeah, I started just like recording little bits like late as fuck and just being like, all right, we'll listen back and see if it's worth it. That's why I was trying to bring up the iDope shit again, and Abby just wasn't talking. Abby was just like, nope. Abby was like, I've already said it because I was trying to have it be like authentic and shit. Abby's like, I'm already content with what I said. I'm not going back into it. But we trying because I'm recording right now.
Oh, so you want us to surround?
I'm recording right now, but the question is, what we diving into first? Well, the main thing of this shit is definitely gonna be the Aaron Hernandez doc. Honestly, like the whole conversation about CTE tying into all that shit. This man Abby be running away from the mic. Brother, the last podcast, this man Abby would be like, but that wouldn't mean. I gotta like raise up his levels and shit. The audio be sounding airy as shit. I don't. Bro, did you see the doc?
Yeah.
The Aaron Hernandez one?
You already watched it.
No, that shit, yeah. Cause I was ready to talk about this shit last week. I'm not gonna lie, I fucked up the last session.
Nah, you did.
We was gonna let that shit slide if I didn't bring it up, but nah, I deserve it like fuck. I deserve the backlash like shit. Cause I was prepared for that too. Cause I had already seen it before, and I was watching it over again, getting up my points and shit. Cause you remember on Twitter, like a lot of people like they're like, I was an old teammate of Aaron Hernandez. And they were talking about like shit that was wrong on the docuseries.
Niggas went on Twitter and said that?
Yeah, they were like I was an old high school teammate or whatever of Aaron Hernandez.
I didn't see that.
He was gay with the linebacker, not the quarterback. Like they were like the most minuscule shit.
Nah, but I seen that they said that nigga, the quarterback, was capping. Because the quarterback was like, how people gonna say? I mean, we didn't want to say nothing because how people gonna react to the star quarterback and the star tight end. That nigga cat like shit. He didn't even start. The nigga only played 2 games his whole high school career, bro. If you go to his stats, he only played 2 games. If you go to his huddle, nigga searched up his stats, bro. He didn't even. So like, if he's gonna lie about that shit, like, what else did he lie about?
Yeah. Bro, they were chasing that bag. His claim to fame is just knowing Aaron Hernandez. God damn.
I'm not denying that him and Aaron didn't have a. I feel like they probably did do something, but he probably just like made it seem like more.
Yeah,
I feel like they did something. I feel like he went and Max to the point telling his whole family he's gay if he's not actually gay. Like that's wild. He would like pat his whole father next to him being like, "Oh yeah." No, bro. You were coaching me back.
He was like,
"Oh yeah."
He was like, "It took me a while to really adjust." It's like, bro, this shit is not about you, my guy.
No, but the way that they got into that shit, bro, like. It was like, all right, them niggas was talking about how much of a dog Aaron was in high school and shit. The next thing you know, the niggas is like, oh yeah, you know, we used to horseplay. And I'm like, hold up. I was like, no, cause he was talking about before school, like the first day before school, that they dads was gone and shit. They was at his crib sparking before they even went to school.
Yeah.
And they said that they was gonna walk it. There was, the star quarterback, which he was capping like shit about. The star quarterback and the star tight end.
He was like team chemistry and shit.
Yeah, he said the star quarterback and the star tight end about to show up late to school, walking to school like that nigga on their senior year. He was walking.
He felt like he was the man.
Yeah, he said they hit 2 blunts before they went in and shit. And he was like, we used to horseplay a lot. I was like, okay, maybe there's some some little kids.
Yeah,
like
niggas,
niggas always used to horseplay. Like niggas fucked around, but he was like, nah. And then he started getting deeper in that shit. He was like fucking like making it seem like, damn, nah, like it's on some gay shit.
But that was actually like a narrative because people were complaining too about how they had focused too much on the gay stuff.
Uh-huh.
But my whole thought process with that in terms of the docuseries was like that was them clarifying like
I feel
because when that shit was actually going down back in like 2011, that was a narrative that they were trying to push that the reason that he had killed Odin Lloyd was the fact that he found out Aaron Hernandez was gay and he was like he was like, yeah, Aaron Hernandez was like real insecure about that shit.
How would Odin even know? I don't even know how.
Because
I guess because they in the same Boston can know.
Because I mean, like he was technically family at that point to a degree because like he was married to, or he was like
yeah, but how would he know?
I mean, if you're close enough to somebody, eventually you start finding out shit about them that the regular. I don't know, like. But then, like, yeah, the docuseries they released, because that was like even up until the docuseries came out, that's what I had thought, because that was the narrative that they were pushing on, like even on like NFL Network and shit. Like they just kept pushing that narrative that like he killed Odin Lloyd because he was gay. Until they actually like dissected his brain and said it was CTE. But then like CTE, like people had known about it, but like it wasn't. The docuseries really like, because there were like even the Will Smith movie, the concussion movie, that was probably like the first real introduction to CTE. Yeah. But I feel like this one opened it up to like an even wider scale to the point where like now we're like, all right, Antonio Brown is not okay. Yeah, like this man clearly got CTE.
Yeah, and he's getting a mental, like some type of mental test happening.
Yeah, he's getting a whole mental evaluation because before everybody was just dogging him like bro, you ruined your life and all this other shit. They're just clowning him and shit. And it's like I'll be laughing with Antonio Brown when he'll be posting like the tweets like no white women 2020. Like that shit is funny. But like when he does like some sporadic shit and he's just wilding out at like a police officer that's taking away his kids and shit. Mm-hmm. It's like that's pretty fucked up to just be like going in on him for it.
Back on the Aaron Hernandez shit, I seen like some football players was trying to like discredit the CTE part about it, like saying that there's all these other niggas that play in the league and they didn't do what he did. I feel like I agree with them that it's okay. I agree with them halfway. I'll be like, you can't just discredit the CTE part though, cause cause I get it that y'all play the sport and y'all don't want to say like. Nah, like it's fully but nah, like you gotta fucking acknowledge that there was something wrong. That shit played a role. Yeah, like it was CTE. It was CTE on top of him probably being bisexual on top of trauma from his childhood,
family and growing up and shit.
And then his father died, and then he lost his structure. Yeah, and
bro, that's like she didn't give a fuck either.
Like bro, even in the when he called her in jail, he was like, bro, like you fucked me up. Like
you ruined my life, and she's like, no, you're not gonna put that on me.
Bro, she had the audacity to be like, I told you to give me $1 million when you first got signed. I was like,
bro, she's like they after that docuseries, they labeled her the worst mother of all time.
Yeah, they max on her.
But no, I'm glad that we tied it into that because I was about to argue the same shit that like. We can't act like the CTE didn't play a role. Like, that's just such a weak argument, especially that, like, we know that CTE is a thing, but we don't know, like, how, we don't know everything that it does. You know, like, I was just seeing this podcast or, like, something where people were talking about how, like, we know about CTE, but we don't know how it affects certain people or whatever. And it's like, there's too many cases where people have CTE and they just do like the wild, like the most sporadic shit that you just like
Aaron is not the first football player to wild out on CTE. Like there's so many different niggas.
Like the fact that dude Mohamed Sayal was conscious enough that his head was fucked up and all the therapy and like everything that he tried, like. The fact that he thought his only way out was to shoot him, like kill himself and preserve his head to be studied.
Yeah,
that's not normal. Like if you're really that fucked up in the head, you would just try to see therapy or something. But like the fact that you think that that's your only way out, like that's not a reasonable like way of thinking. Fool, you remember the dude from the Bengals? That like he was a full-time starter on the team. He had no means of like he was like he performed so well the season before, and there was like no reason for this shit to happen. He pulled up to Marvin Lewis's office, was like, "Thanks for the opportunity," and shot himself in the fucking head.
In front of Marvin Lewis?
Yes, in front of Marvin Lewis. Like that was fool. I don't remember that at all. Fool. Now we got to look this up because
Chad Johnson, right? No, not Chad Johnson.
No. The wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, that wide receiver. I forgot his name.
That was like some shit.
Yeah, I forgot it.
That was like some shit with but this dude was like a linebacker, bro. Bengals.
But bro, yeah, I was saying like y'all can't discredit because like Cuz knew he had something fucked up about him. Like if he was just gonna kill himself, he would have just shot himself in the head. He knew something was fucked up.
I have to sacrifice myself type shit. That's not
pervert my brain.
Cool, that's not normal. Like
to pervert.
I think it was either the Bengals or the Chiefs.
As tens of millions of Americans watched football this weekend, it was hard to escape that headline, that heartbreak in Kansas City.
Jeez.
And on this Sunday, a team took a moment to remember a family in extraordinary pain. Javon Belcher was a linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, a successful athlete who got there on his own. He wasn't drafted, recently celebrating his first child, a baby girl. But then this weekend, tragedy. Belcher murdering his girlfriend and then killing himself at the stadium in front of his coach and his general manager. Today's sorrow on the field, Belcher's teammates leading fans in that moment of silence, and this evening, new and difficult questions, some of them for the coach. Were there any signs this was coming? ABC's John Triffin is in Kansas City tonight.
With heavy hearts, Chiefs players took the field just one day after teammate Javon Belcher killed his girlfriend before taking his own life outside the stadium.
It was tough. You miss him, you know? He's a great guy.
Oh, that's the 49.
We love his family. Like I said, my heart goes out to them. Our prayers are with them.
As part of the pregame ceremonies, the Chiefs observed a moment of silence for the victims of domestic abuse. And after running back Peyton Hillis scored the game's first touchdown, he ran over to head coach Romeo Crennel to give him a hug. Police say early Saturday morning, Belcher shot and killed his 22-year-old girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins, the mother of his 3-month-old daughter, at their home. He then got in his car, drove to the team's practice facility outside Arrowhead Stadium, where authorities say he thanked coaches for believing in him. Moments later, he walked away, shooting himself in the head, as Crennel and the team's general manager looked on in horror.
Is that the practice nigga?
Police are still trying to figure out he walked away, shooting himself in the head, as Crennel and the team's general manager looked on in horror. Police...
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was more of like... I think it was like he had like an argument or something with his girlfriend. But like now it's like the CTE is such like a big issue that like
you got tied.
Like every football player, if you're acting out like that, like that's still not a reasonable. Like you're about to kill the mother of your child over like an argument or some shit. Like that's not normal thinking. You know, I might be reaching with that being CTE, but like that's not too far of a reach either. You know, with all this shit going on. But Antonio Brown is definitely like I'm low key scared that the same like there's about to be like a life that there's gonna be an incident CTE related that's gonna end up like being the reason that he ends up like dying prematurely, whether he like kills himself or like I might be reaching and I hope I am, but like. He's acting a little like it's almost like to a point of no return. Like they're like mental health evaluation. There's no way of treating CTE, and there's no way of curing the shit, and there's no way of even checking for it until you die. Yeah. So it's like, what really can they do for him at this point in time? So it's like just like he's in a psych ward for the rest of his life.
He's not gonna take that shit serious.
He not. He probably think he's fine for. He probably don't even think he got CTE. Not even on his mind.
Nah, it definitely is like in the back of his head at the very least, because he'll go on Twitter and see just like everybody like CTE. He's like, yeah, but that shit like he's acting like way too sporadic for that, because they were like, even if it's like some shit where CTE affects everybody differently, I think they said he was already kind of bipolar before, so that shit is probably like amplified now. Like even going back to the Aaron Hernandez shit, like even in the documentary, Aaron Hernandez didn't really pick up on the fact of like, damn, I really murdered like 3 people in my lifetime. Like he didn't understand. Like it was like he couldn't grasp how severe of a situation he was in.
I feel like it was only because he got away with it. Like Florida just
No, but like you remember when he got arrested initially, and they were like they put him on suicide watch, but he took the shit
He was cooling it.
He was cooling it like it was. He was like he adjusted to the situation so quickly, like it was just wasn't phasing him at all. Like I don't think he understood the severity of like the situation that he was in until it really started settling. I don't know.
Until the day he was about to hang himself and wrote them notes.
Yeah. Like the whole CTE.
I was about to say something else, but I forgot what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But that was wild decision making. He thought that his whole family was gonna get 40 mil, and then he.
I mean, it's a Hail Mary though. But
wait, did they even win that?
No, because
they
were like
Patriots wasn't gonna give them.
Yeah, even because they even said in the documentary, like even if they're gonna lose more money than they would than they would have just to give them the money, like they're not about to allow this man that murdered 3 people
to get
Bro, they were like that would have been so interesting too, like if he had that first lawyer, the Odin Lloyd.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I think
because
I think Flimo said that. No, I don't know who said. I think Shannon. I was watching First Take. I think Shannon Sharp was like, imagine if he had the first lawyer that got him out the second.
Yeah, because that man saved so many people. Like you remember Casey Anthony?
Yeah, the shawty that killed her.
Yeah, that killed her baby and threw her in the dumpster. And just left her. I think she left the baby in the trunk for like 2 weeks and then decided to throw away and then he got her off the hook. Like that man, I don't know what that man does, but
even if he got Aaron off, bro, Aaron would have kept wilding out.
Yeah, no, it was like it would have still only been a matter of time type shit.
That's so like if you think about it, bro. Imagine if the Patriots had Gronk, Aaron Hernandez, Julian Edelman.
They were talking about
Danny Amendola, bro. Like you can't cover all 4 of them niggas.
Yeah, they were talking
on one team.
They were talking about
can't cover all 4 of them.
They were talking about that on Undisputed too. Like at the time, Aaron Hernandez was better than Rob Gronkowski.
He was better than Rob at the time because they came that was
because he was a full package.
Yeah. Because he could run routes and he could run routes, run after the catch, and he was big as shit like a tight end.
Yeah,
but they put that man as running back a running back in the playoff game versus the Broncos, and he ran that shit 40 yards. That nigga was a dog ass tight end, bro. That nigga.
I didn't even watch his highlight, bro.
Such a wasted talent, bro.
Yeah,
that's wild. Cause you got double, cause they already doubling Gronk after Aaron left. They already doubling Gronk. You got to either double Gronk or Aaron.
I mean, they had Wes Welker still back then, right?
They would have been wild.
Like if that's so like that like they've been emphasizing that a lot too, but that's so wild to think about. Like imagine being in his situation where like you just killed 2 people. Like even though he got off the hook, like it's like on some OJ shit. Like we know. But the justice system doesn't like shit. But like, imagine killing 2 people.
White people were so mad when OJ beat that kid.
And then, like, I remember seeing documentaries where they made it a whole race thing, and the
black people were happy because
they're watching it like the Super Bowl. They were cheering.
Now listen, black people were happy because black people were getting fucked by the judicial system for the years, and finally, a black nigga that actually did it and got away with it. Niggas was like, we don't give a fuck, nigga. Fuck that nigga. The white niggas was mad as shit.
It's a middle finger to the justice system, like shit. But damn, I don't even know where I was going. OJ got away. Now he's hate Twitter world.
Nah, Twitter funny. Nah, he be funny as shit on Twitter though.
Bro, his content is so wholesome.
He just be real live. He be cool in it. OJ, bro, they're not gonna verify. They're not gonna. He don't even need the.
If it was anybody else, they already would have. First day on the site. He probably be requesting that shit too, and they're like, "Nah, we gonna act like we gonna leave that shit in the drafts."
He be big cool in it. I feel like he don't even read his comments. He just posts that shit.
No, he doesn't even post that shit. He has somebody else post it for him, and he just goes about his day. If he read one of those comments, he'd be like, "All right, I'm done with the internet." Put the phone face down. Be like, "All right, it's time to."
Bro, this nigga almost got 1 million followers. They not about to verify. Oh God, they wild as hell.
Bro, that man is nothing but positive vibes too. You be forgetting.
He's living his life right now.
You be forgetting, but it's like when a situation like that.
Hashtag verify OJ.
That shit is hilarious too, because it's like a part of me is like, yeah, OJ killed 2 people, but at what point is it water under the bridge? At what point? At what point?
Like, bro, that shit old.
That shit old news. He's a changed man, like shit. At what point do you forgive and forget? That's not funny. Like when it's something that when it's something that you can't take back. Like if it like you could do some really foul shit, but if it's like if the person is still alive and you know you may have damaged them and they may not be able to go back fully and the relationship may never be the same. You know, you can still reach like some middle ground where it's like, all right, you know, I may have fucked up in the past, but I'm trying to change myself. And it's like, you know, you can try your best to like, you know, I see where I did wrong, whatever. When you murder somebody, there's no coming back from that shit. You know, it's like
unless you're a rapper.
Unless you're
a rapper.
Yeah.
That's the only genre where they glorify.
Yeah. Like I said that too. I said that too back in the day. I was like, you could be the worst type of person in the world, but as long as you're hot, like
nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, unless if it's on some shit like DaBaby, even if he wasn't the hottest rapper in the world right now, the fact that like his thing was his killing somebody was self-defense, that's a whole different incident from like on some Aaron Hernandez shit. Like, oh, you spilled a soda on me. Yeah. Damn, you got this Henny all over my fit.
Nah, that's why I was saying like if he had the lawyer that got him out the second jump. The shit that he was killing niggas for, just for spilling a drink on you, bro. He would have been.
That's CTE right there.
Yeah.
Like,
and he didn't kill his man. He didn't kill him. He survived.
Oh yeah, he survived. He shot his man for no reason, bro.
Wait, you saw?
Remember the light skin nigga?
Oh yeah. The dude with the eye.
Yeah.
His eyes like that because he shot him.
Yeah, he shot him for no reason.
That's not funny.
For something to the club, bro.
Fool.
I guess definitely CTE, bro.
Yeah, because it's like. Because that's another one of those things of like CTE affects everybody differently. Because like Aaron Hernandez he had fucked up by constantly surrounding himself in that environment because he was hanging around the wrong people. They were like in the documentary, somebody in Aaron's situation, why the fuck are you hanging out with these people that are like known felons and shit? And it's like they were like every time he went back home, they knew some shit was about to go down because
it's his mom's fault.
No. I mean, yeah, it is, but
I mean, to a degree, we can't act like it's like Aaron Hernandez has no fault in this because it's like
he got fault.
Where his mom lived, bro. He'd even live in the hood, bro. He lived in the burbs. The place he lived in the burbs. Where his cousin lived is where like the felons and shit was. After his mom did that shit, and he started hanging with his cousin. And that's where all the niggas.
So it's like low key. His mom fucked up his life to the point where that shit started. Like that's probably like he probably, even though he didn't tell his mom that, he was probably thinking that in the back of his head. Like if he did ever come to that realization, like damn, where the fuck did my life go wrong? He would think back and be like, damn. I'd still be living in the burbs and shit, and just like, you know, just like I'm without a father now, but you know, I'm still like.
If his father stayed alive. I feel like he would be straight.
All this shit would have been avoided aside from maybe the CTE.
Yeah.
But like, but at
either that and him being closeted. I don't know.
Actually,
honestly,
I feel like he was bisexual. I feel like.
He was definitely.
Yeah, I feel like he was bisexual and that high school shit was old.
Because his girl was riding for him too much to be like just like using her for like I'm not gay, guys. I have a wife type shit.
Yeah.
Nah, his girl is a ride or die.
Nah, they were saying that shit, but then
his cousin is a ride or die.
But they said she like ended up married or like going out.
She rode and then he died. What else he gonna do?
She rode. And then she like with Aaron's friend or whatever.
His teammate.
But bro, that's another thing too. That's a very interesting decision to make in life where it's like
I'm gonna date his teammate.
No. My fiance killed my sister's husband. If there wasn't a child involved,
yeah, she probably would have
decided. But like, you can't. There's no coming back from like that. Like just how that relationship will never be the same.
Yeah.
Like they'll be 60 years old and maybe start to talk to each other again. Like there's no coming back.
I think they cool.
No,
I think on the documentary they said it was cool.
No, it was cool. Like literally.
Nah, it was
before that it was cool, and then after.
No, like literally, like the sister. Literally, there was security tape of them in the house.
But that was literally as soon as they found out.
They didn't know who it was.
Yeah, they didn't know that it was him.
Yeah. I think if they did say that, it was just to not have like everybody in their business and shit.
Oh, yeah.
But even if that is the truth, it's probably on some shit about like saving the fiance so that she didn't end up becoming an accomplice or whatever. Like if she's the most oblivious person to this whole situation, like that's how she escaped. Because she was so involved in this shit, and they were like she wasn't giving any answers out. That it's like, bruh. How are you not in jail right now? As like on some.
I was low key confused. Like, how did she not get any?
And then the cousin who wasn't trying to say nothing.
Yeah, she got time.
Yeah,
she got in jail.
That's damn. Like Aaron Hernandez really fucked up a lot of lives.
But the thing is, he probably didn't. He doesn't understand. He probably didn't understand that because his brain was so fucked. And like, bro, you know his brain is fucked when he's looking through the security tape and he deletes one thing. But then keeps the footage of him of the gun.
Fool. The wildest shit was when they said he had killed somebody. I think it was when he killed Odin Lloyd in the rental truck, and he returned the truck, and there was still bullets in the car. Fool.
And then there was a gum.
Burnt out. You burnt out. Oh my god.
Like he wasn't thinking straight at all.
Fool. He was so sloppy. Like
he left the J.
He left at the scene of the crime like it was some movie shit. He flicked it out. He was like he was on some mafia shit.
And it was a respectable J. It wasn't even I seen the picture. I was watching. I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
that shit still got like 3 or 4 holes.
That's some rich nigga shit.
God,
that's some rich nigga shit.
That shit still got a solid 3 or 4 poles. Like
that wasn't 3 or 4.
That's a whole sesh. That's a whole sesh.
Bro, that's a whole sesh.
The fiend in me was like, why?
Bro, there are people out here fiending for some gas. Can't reach a plug and you're just wasting it.
We're live though. There is people right now.
There's some people starving out here. There's
right
some people
now.
feeding for J's.
Oh God! As we speak right now, somebody's hitting up a plug that don't got no plug.
That's not reliable. And you're out here wasting shit. Bro, there was so many layers to that. That documentary.
I fuck with it.
That shit is definitely the best docuseries I've seen in a hot minute. Especially because the case was already wild in of itself. The fact that like an NFL player killed somebody, and that's already a wild enough scenario. Yeah. But the docuseries really laid out all the different layers that was that shit is literally movie-esque shit that was going on. The fact that the getaway car or the rent-a-car, whatever car that was involved in, the truck that was that was a part of that was there during the 2 murders was at his cousin's house in the garage. There was so much shit. There was so many layers to shit that just didn't get resolved. A whole year went by and you're just
he's cool.
I can't wait to go on a road trip with this truck again. What the fuck are you doing with the truck? At least change the license plates. Do something. My God.
How do you get away with that much? How do you get away with that many murders though, and then just go play a football season? Go to the Super Bowl, bro.
That's another thing. That's another thing too about. I don't know how much CTE plays a role in this shit because I can't even the most
you really gotta think about that shit though. What a reasonable,
that's low key
reasonable. Did you see that shit on Twitter earlier? See this man. Hold on, let me find that jump. This nigga. AB, you see what he was wearing to his court jump?
Yeah, they were like, "That's a cry for help."
It was like, think about it. Would a person with CTE wear this suit? Would a person without CTE wear this suit to a fucking court date?
But it's you spend a whole year goes by after you murder 2 people. How does your conscience not eat you alive? Like that's some,
and he's never been about that life.
That's low key some serial killer shit. Like some Ted Bundy. Like no matter what evil I do in this world, like it's not gonna affect me psychologically.
Yeah, that's that's definitely CTE. It has to be something because he wasn't like that at all at first.
With a nigga without CTE, where does fit?
Yeah, like the Aaron Hernandez shit is wild.
Bro, he has a track jacket.
That's like that's like a Dematha.
Oh no.
Motherfuckers would be coming in during the winter.
That's what I used to wear?
Yeah, like, because you got to wear the blazers and shit. And motherfuckers, you can't really wear a jacket over the blazer, so you would be wearing the jacket under the blazer to fight the cold and shit. But then they would make you take that shit off, like when you get in the classroom. But then there would be people that would be arguing with the teachers and shit. Not trying to let that shit happen. But yeah, it's like... Really, I hope this whole Antonio Brown scenario, like, I hope they really start speeding up the process of getting some shit where, like, you can treat CTE
I had faith in it.
while the person is alive.
I had faith in him. At first, I was like, maybe he's just a nigga. Like, you feel me? Like, he's just a nigga. Like, he just
got money.
Yeah, he's just a nigga with money. But then he just started wilding. Like, there was some shit that I just couldn't. I had to be like, all right, this is borderline CTE.
I thought he was just trolling at first until he started live streaming the police. I was like, all right, yeah. Now he's just...
Nah, I knew someone was wrong after he left the Raiders, went to the Patriots, and still just, like, couldn't get his shit together.
Nah, when he left the Raiders and went to the Patriots, I thought he was a genius.
Yeah, no. The fact that he fucked up his own situation with the Patriots so quickly, I was like, all right, this man is not all the way there because he's not even thinking logically. Like, he's not, like, whatever he's trying to do, he's not even, like, executing that shit properly.
I mean, like, with the Patriots, though, like...
Because they said, literally, his only requirement was, like, just don't wild out. Yeah. Stop tweeting and all this. And the very next minute, he was like... The thing
that got him kicked out was because he had another accusation for sexual assault charges. I don't think they were gonna release him until he texted the girl and started wilding out on her, bro.
He was like, I'm gonna kill you or something.
Yeah, I'm like she's going to screenshot these jokes and post them. Like, all right, like that's why I was like, all right, he's probably got CTE.
Nah, that shit's crazy. But it's like, for somebody like Aaron Hernandez, you can't even really feel bad for them because it's like you still murdered people. You know, it's like, how much sympathy can somebody really have?
It's like, there's ways you can understand.
Bro, why?
You're on my timeline.
That's like the outro song.
But it's like, you could definitely, there's ways to understand why, but it's just like, it's still not acceptable.
No, but free KK.
God damn. You hate to see it. The lesson of this podcast is you hate to see it like shit.
Nah, we're live.
Me and Pat walk in your crib. Take all that shit.
Me and Pat walk in your crib. Take all that shit out your fridge. I don't care what you say, bitch, I call dibs. Talk down my niggas, aim glicks at your ribs. Ball plays be spin, ain't no Freddie Gibbs. Patch your touchdown, take it back like y'all script. When I hit her, I'm strapped, they got no time for kids. Hit the J and I'll smack, I ain't touching no cigs.